Chapter 46. Under the woman's unrelenting weight, Laura's breaths grew ragged. All she wanted to do was die, but she was unable. This was beyond unacceptable. This was insanity. Perhaps she was losing her mind here. Maybe she was unconsciously creating demented situations for herself to work through. She banged her forehead against the tile. She couldn't do a simple task correctly. She had to mess up. Why couldn't she complete suicide? It was as though she wanted to fail, like she was trying her hardest to flounder. She was no good. She probably hadn't found a husband for just that reason. Oh God, she was thinking like her father again. Claustrophobia wrapped around her and squeezed. Her helpless state wasn't improving. This knowledge bred more anxiety. Abruptly, a memory pushed forward. A fight in middle school that another 8th grade girl, Mandolin, started. Laura also lost this fight, ending up pinned on her back. It had been utterly humiliating. A crowd had gathered around and laughed down at her pathetic position, her weakness, her forced submission to Madeline. This childhood humiliation returned with full intensity. Laura closed her eyes. She wasn't a martial artist, a weightlifter, or a wrestler. She was a research psychologist and had no idea how to get out of this position. Frank complained, "Goddamn 911 is busy, Jessica. Can you believe it?" A sharp pain issued from her nose. She opened her eyes to see Jessica's fingers there, having just flicked Laura. The woman asked, "Why are you creeping around our house in the middle of the night?" She turned her head left as far as it would go. From the corner of her eye, she could see the woman's face. "Please, let me up. Do you know my husband?" Her arms began to tingle with growing numbness from being wedged behind Jessica's thighs. "What? No." "Why were you flirting with him?" "I wasn't." "I heard you." "It's not what it looks like." "You're walking around our house barefoot in skin-tight stretch pants with your blouse open and breasts exposed? You tell me what that is." She turned her head to face the floor again. It was all she could do. "I just want to die." Jessica was silent, evidently not knowing how to respond. "Please kill me." "Be careful what you wish for." After several moments, she turned her head left again to see Jessica's face. "That's all I want. I never wanted to hurt you people." She scooted up, cranking Laura's arms further back, pain drilling her shoulder joints. "Did you reach the police yet?" "Wait," Frank said stiffly. "I think I'm being connected." Laura pleaded, "Look, I'll do it myself if you don't want to. It's okay. Just tell the police you couldn't stop me." The woman crouched, her steamy breath hitting Laura's cheek, smelling of alcohol. "You're one crazy bitch. If you really want to kill yourself, why'd you have to try it here? Why couldn't you do it in your home?" She didn't know how to respond. Several tears escaped her eyes. She told herself this was not real. This woman on top of her was just her own creation. She was essentially trapping herself. There must be a way out then. Tina and Ashley had found a way to create deadly shadow creatures. People unconsciously create things in dreams to work out emotions and heal. Though the girls couldn't control their shadow creatures, these scary things could have been helpful to the girls' psychological growth. Donald had somehow found a way to manipulate the dream state and pull dark matter from his trench coat. Maybe a part of himself felt bad and deadly and needed to be healed. If they could create things, Laura could too, though they had been here longer. Although not perfect, Project X tried to eliminate variables of conscious control to make this world as natural and believable as possible. Laura tried, closing her eyes and imagining Jessica as a feather pillow. Maybe if she believed strongly enough, it would be. Maybe it would somehow seep into her subconscious and change the dream. She crinkled her eyes together in concentration, but when she opened them, Jessica was still in her face. "So do you work at his office?" She shut her eyes again. She felt Jessica flick her nose, but managed to keep her focus. After a minute, the pillow image dissipated as Jessica's body heat burned into Laura's back and sides. "Feeling guilty, huh?" She flicked Laura's closed left eye, creating a stabbing pain. "You should, slut." She turned her head to face the ground, but the woman twisted back on its side. Her sweaty hand pinned it to the floor. Through only one ear, Laura barely heard Frank explain the situation to someone on the phone. "Afraid to face the truth?" Jessica used her fingers to pry Laura's left eyelid open. "Is that why he's been coming home so late? Spending time with you? You couldn't wait until Monday. Had to break into our house to see him?" Her arms felt like rubbery nubs. Her shoulder joints burned. She twisted her lower body, trying to squirm out, but only succeeded in causing sharp pains in her ribs. She muttered, "You don't know what you're talking about." Jessica brought a long, sharp fingernail to Laura's eye. "If you try that again, bitch, I will push this into your eye, and you won't be seeing anymore. Then I'll do the same to the other one, and you won't be dead, but you'll be blind." Her heart banged against the hard tile underneath her. Blindness would hamper her options of killing herself and returning to Ashley as promised. She breathed carefully, each inhalation more painful than the previous. Jessica wedged her toes under Laura's bare stomach and pulled up on her arms, sending electric bolts through her shoulders. She screamed, "You're the worst type of woman, taking what others have. Can't you find your own man?" Jessica sat up straight, shifting her weight, grinding Laura's ribs into the tile floor. "You didn't steal anything. Did you come in here for a knife?" Hunching, she whispered, "For me? You wanted to use it on me, didn't you? Have Frank all for yourself." Why didn't Laura have to break into a psychotic woman's home? Why not some poor elderly woman? "Please, you don't understand." "Well, help me then." She seethed, spittle falling onto Laura's cheek. "Make me understand." Horror trembled through her. It was one thing to have someone enraged at you when you could defend yourself, walk away, or at least step back. Laura had dealt with angry people throughout her life. Most adults could deal with those situations. But it was a completely different experience, trapped underneath a furious person, subject to their mercy.